Hi, I'm Jove Tapiador. I'm from the Philippines, and I wear three hats. The first hat that I wear, I'm the president of a rural bank in Central Philippines. Second is, and I'll share the story later, why, co-founder of GoodTech, which is a FinTech company that supports rural financial institutions in their transformation journey, in their digital transformation journey. And the third hat that I wear, I'm co-founder of FinTech Philippines Association, the largest, most inclusive trade industry group for FinTech in the country. And my journey started because of these three hats. The intersection between finance and technology actually brought me to this point. Prior to becoming president of the bank, I was a consultant for USAID in the Philippines for a couple of projects. One is microfinance, and we were working with the central bank in the Philippines on policies related to microfinance. And second is on electronic payments. And this involved the interoperability of banks in the country. And again, working with the central bank on the policy side. Because of those experiences, and now as a rural banker, I have come to realize that technology plays a significant role in the transformation of rural financial institutions. The bank we're located here in the city of Silay City, Central Philippines, population 160,000. I'm here right now, power's out a while ago, but it's back. That's the reality living here. But the challenges for the transformation of rural banks, I face that daily. One is the migration of our market to digital channels and services. The average age of a rural bank customer is over 50 years old. And so we're missing out on the next generation of customers. Number two, there are increasing regulatory requirements on IT risk management, compliance, and cybersecurity. And there are a lot of technology core issues that a small bank will have to face. Lack of technology talent, poor IT risk management and compliance, non-compliant technology processes, and high dependence on vendors themselves. Having faced that, we've decided to build a platform where we can have one standard compliant, resilient technology solution for rural financial institutions. And more than that, it is compliant in the sense that we have incorporated eKYC, AML, credit scoring, and analytics onto that one flow of a platform. The other side of the coin is not just the solution itself, but really the infrastructure needed for a successful digital transformation, which requires shared services on cloud, AI, and analytics. So what we have built is a platform that addresses, number one, a digital channel for rural financial institutions to transform themselves. Number two is that by going digital, we open up new markets for them that are previously underserved, unserved, particularly on migrant workers, both internal and external. And once complete, we are in fact building an ecosystem around the rural financial institution for underserved businesses and communities. This has opened up our eyes because of this investment to what a bank requires. It allowed us to also see other rural financial institutions, not just rural banks, but thrift banks, lending companies, cooperatives, and microfinance institutions on the same boat. They have challenges in addressing market needs and in meeting the operational and technical capacity to provide the financial services needed by these target markets. We're looking at 6 million migrant workers, 1.5 million gig workers, 900,000 micro and small entrepreneurs, 5 million farmers. Just for a quick example, Filipino migrant workers, only 2 out of 10 have a bank account. And normally, they avail their financial services through their family members. So if they're abroad, they use remittance channels, which are expensive. Or if there's a need for an emergency fund, they ask their relatives to borrow on behalf of their families back home. So our objective is to provide them the tools needed, whether they're migrant workers or gig workers, to connect directly with rural banks in their hometowns. The banks and other rural financial institutions cover almost more than 90% of the country's geography, unlike the universal commercial big banks that are only concentrated on highly urbanized cities. This market alone is significant, with over $6 billion in total addressable market. And in terms of revenue, we can generate $4.4 billion in loans and from loans and $1.8 billion in remittances. So it's a huge market. And because of that, we put together a core founding team that we can say has the vision, foresight, capability, and the execution chops to make this happen. Our chairman is Mr. Sergio Edeza, former treasurer of the Philippine Central Bank, former treasurer of the Philippine Republic, and former treasurer of the largest conglomerate in the country, San Miguel Corporation. My co-founders are strong in the city building space, like Sylvester Wong, or in technology, like Rogelio Umali, who became the CIO of the year, and formerly with FWD Insurance, with banks, telcos, and healthcare. Our solution has been proven to be successful. I use my bank as a POC, and we were able to grow its loan portfolio by 56% in 6 months just because of a simple digitalization a funnel that we created. We have more than doubled our rate of loan applications, and we have increased our revenues by 45% year on year. We have other banks already signed up, many of them rural banks located in strategic areas throughout the country. So what we're building on is a platform that, by onboarding rural banks and other financial institutions, we are stitching together a nationwide network of small to medium financial players that are looking for new markets. And normally these markets we can support by funneling them to the right local partner. Because of this ecosystem building effort, the ADB has provided us with what they call a FinTech for Inclusion Transformation Grant of almost $170,000 US. And thank you also to AFI for choosing us as a finalist. And this has been a boon for us. Our ask is that as we expand, and this is critical, we're actually going now and preparing for our Series A. Now we're at seed stage, and we're building using that to develop the local network. But we see that this model can be replicated in other countries globally that have similar challenges. If we do win and we get the support of the central banks, we can be part of the sandbox and regulatory environment or regulatory sandbox. Currently, we are part of the technical working group on open banking in the Philippines. And to penetrate any of the member countries, of course, we'll be looking for a pilot grant to develop this proof of concept in an ecosystem and seek the support in the network or endorsements to rural financial institutions in your home countries. Our commitment is that we can operate locally as well as internationally, and we can be supportive in building an ecosystems build out for similar models in other countries. And more importantly, by creating a community, there can be a large knowledge sharing across territories that can support policy decisions or policy making by central banks and by AFI members. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is GoodTech, and behind me is our brand, Good Bank, which is our platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Joe, for your presentation, and thank you for staying within the time limit as well. We appreciate that. So I'm going to give the floor, first of all, to our panel of judges, if they'd like to ask any questions. So Carmen, Arlindo, or Sarah, if you'd like to ask any follow-up question to Joe, now is the opportunity to do so. And for our audience members as well, if you'd like to post in the chat or raise a hand if you have any question yourselves.
Yes.
Arlindo, would you like to come in?
Yes, please. The question, a quick one. Are you using this solution as a solution as a service?
It
Or
is,
the
it's solution as a service.
solution as a service? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Arlindo. And perhaps Carmen or Sarah, if you have any questions,
I have a question, if that's okay.
please go ahead.
Sure. Lovely to meet you, Jove. I'm just curious about, you talked about credit scoring. I was wondering how you are managing to create credit scores for quite unserved populations.
Okay, the nuts and bolts of this is because of our partner banks, they have people out in the field that are actually collecting primary raw data, and they are fed into our platform. We have our credit scoring and set up in such a way that any data inputted, there are certain weights and measures that provide a credit score for these borrowers. At the end of the day, that credit score is connected with an interest rate, so that it already prices in risk into that interest rate. So that's true for many areas around the world. Many do not even show up in a credit bureau, right? So by working with rural banks or rural financial institutions on the ground and them collecting primary data, we are now able to build a credit profile of a previously underbanked customer.
And does that credit profile just sit with you, or would you be able to share that data on a broader scale back to like a credit bureau?
Yeah, so for now, that data is owned by the financial institution, but perhaps in the future, with the consent of the financial institution, that can be monetized, that can be opened up to benefit the broader industry and maybe share with the credit bureau.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. And I'll just give a final opportunity to Carmen, in case, Carmen, if you have any question.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Job, I have a question. Can you describe how GoodTech verifies that the financial entities that use its platforms focus the benefits on the population with disadvantages like women's youth or rural communities or elderly, or I don't know. Can you please
Yes.
describe this?
So what we do, many of these rural financial institutions are actually located outside of urban areas. So most likely they will be serving the disadvantaged groups. Many of them can also have microfinance operations, which are mostly targeted for women and micro entrepreneurs. Now, we also support them by doing our own local marketing activation campaigns. And this is very targeted. So for example, we've targeted micro entrepreneurs in one area so that we are able to generate a pipeline of around 200 micro entrepreneurs for a bank. So that targeted approach to marketing assures us at least that we're providing or linking target markets, underserved communities, micro entrepreneurs, women, with the right financial partner.
Thank you.